Guys, welcome back. Today is going to be a very harrowing video. I honestly am very disturbed by what I see here. But the Nanjing massacre. This was a massive massacre that was happening by Imperial Japanese troops. Imperial Japanese troops committed these crimes. What happened was the massacre. It occurred over a period of 6 weeks, starting on December 13, 1937, the day that the Japanese captured Nanjing. But the evidence that this actually occurred and the motive was racism. The motive was racial abuse. And to this day, the Japanese public, they deny that the event occurred. Like, it's crazy, and let's get into the eyewitness accounts of the Westerners and the Chinese. Like, the way that we know that this actually happened for sure, there's actually a lot of people that saw it happen. And what did they do? After the city fell over the course of 6 weeks, the troops, they were killing and murdering and raping and torturing and stealing and thieving and bombing all over the place. All over the place, all over Nanjing, they were killing and raping women. They even had many different Chinese women were being used as comfort women for the Japanese men. And then after the time is over, they discard them and throw them away and kill them. There's primary accounts from people such as John Rabe and the American Minnie Vautrin. I find it very disturbing that the Japanese government, to this day, they still deny the massacre and the crimes against humanity that occurred here. 1,000 women and girls were raped in one day alone. And all of the girls at a college were raped. And there's also accounts that the Japanese troops, they forced families to have cereal with each other. They forced entire families to commit incest. They forced them at a point of a gun. Either you do this or I kill you. You do this, you don't do it, I kill you. You don't do that, I kill you. But it's not even that. They killed them because of racism. And even some Chinese men were sodomized, and they were forced to perform many different types of degrading acts. This stuff is like, I don't even know what to say. I am horrified by this stuff. It really shows the depth of depravity that human beings are willing to go to. After they took the city, the Japanese, after they took over Nanjing, they were searching. They searched for all of the Chinese troops. They got them out of their barracks, and they summarily executed them all in the Yangtze River. The Yangtze River, they executed them all and machine gunned them and killed them. Yeah, they killed them all. They didn't. They. Man, I mean, it's like, wow. It's like, there was no reason for look. The crazy thing is, there was literally no reason for them to do this stuff. Well, actually, there was no actually obvious explanation for why they did it. It's just that they were very, very bored, angry, frustrated. They were tired, they were very, very tired and angry. But that doesn't excuse you for killing all these people. I mean, this is like insanity. And they took advantage of the weakness of the Chinese people at that time. The women were undefeated, were unprotected, and the men were absent or they were powerless. And the Japanese, they say that this stuff never happened, and it's propaganda, Western propaganda. I mean, it's like I don't know what to say. Even to this day, the Chinese people have a strong sense of mistrust and animosity towards the Japanese for what they did. And, you know, um, if you really look into it, and you look into everything, you're going to come to the conclusion that this happened. Now, I'm going to get into the official statement from the government of Japan. This is what it says. The government of Japan believes it cannot be denied that the killing of a large number of non-combatants, looting, and other acts by the Japanese army occurred. However, the actual number of victims is hard to determine according to the government of Japan. In the 2010 Japan-China Joint History Research Committee meeting, scholars from the Japanese side set the maximum possible number of civilian victims at 200,000. You know, uh, yeah, they deny the number of people that died. They deny everything. It's like, okay, the evidence is right there, but you don't believe that it happened. But the evidence is right in front of your face, bro. Like, you can see that this happened. You can see that all of these things occurred. Why are you denying it? It's like a murderer getting caught red-handed in the act of murder, and then he says he didn't do it. When you can literally see him killing someone, and he's on tape. Okay, he's on tape. Never mind. Forget about the eyewitness accounts. He's on tape committing murder. And then he's in court saying, "Your Honor, I didn't do it." It's like this. Japan is in court with Japan is on trial, and then the prosecutor is China. The judge is America. The Japanese defendant is saying to the judge, "Your Honor, I didn't do it," but the eyewitness accounts say that you did do it, and then they say, "Oh, that's just propaganda. Oh, that's just lies." And then the bodies get found. The bodies get found. It's like, how can you deny that this stuff happened when it did happen? There's so much evidence that suggests that it happened. You can't just deny the evidence. The evidence is very, very cold. But man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I am really, really eye-opening. The number of deaths per Wikipedia, primary sources say 50,000 to 300,000 died. The scholarly consensus says the max was 300,000, and then the other source says 300,000. The Chinese government's scholarly consensus in China believes 300,000 people died. So there's three different sources that say 300,000 people died at the maximum end of the scope of what they are estimating. The minimum scope is 40,000 to 50,000, and the Chinese government doesn't have minimum scope. They just estimate it as 300,000. 300,000 people got massacred, slaughtered like sheep. And I don't believe sheep should be slaughtered either. I don't think anyone should be slaughtered. But man, I mean, they murdered 300,000 people over a period of 6 weeks. Oh my God, that is like, I mean, I don't know what to say. And the thing is, they were so brazen that they actually took pictures. If you go on Google and you type in Nanjing massacre, you will see horrific images. I mean, if you're a fan of if you're someone that's faint of heart, maybe you shouldn't watch this video, or maybe you shouldn't go on Google and search those images because you're going to be a bit scarred. The perpetrators was the Imperial Japanese Army, and let's be honest, the orders came right from the top. They came from the Japanese government at that time. So yeah, man, that's all I gotta say. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. I'm out.